Okay, hi everybody. So today we're going to learn about scatter plots, lines of best fit, and correlation coefficient. So you do need your graphing calculators available. You do need a ruler. If you don't have your graphing calculator, you will need to log on to the NGSLA one because you do need a graphing calculator. Alright, so you guys probably have worked with scatter plots before. So this is an example of a scatter plot, right? It's just a bunch of points plotted on a coordinate plane. We're going to talk about the trends. They're not going to be perfectly linear. So what is a scatter plot? It's a graph that shows the relationship between two data sets. Two data sets are graphed as ordered pairs. So in this example, the two data sets are temperature and sales. So another thing is with a scatter plot, they show trends in the data. So as you can see, this trend is moving in a positive linear regression. Okay, so what you guys are also going to do is you're going to identify correlations between data sets. So like this right here has a positive correlation. If it has a positive correlation, that means as x increases, y increases. By the way, what is correlation? It is a relationship between data sets. Okay, so this one, if you notice from left to right, you agree it's decreasing. So this is negative correlation. And as x increases, the y decreases. So up here in this example, as temperature increases, the sales also increase. This scatter plot, I think we can all agree there's no trend, right? Like you don't see it moving in a line. So this is no correlation. So an example of no correlation could be the month you were born and the color of your eyes, right? There's no correlation, no association between that. Okay, so what we're going to do is once we have either a positive or negative correlation, we're going to start drawing what's called a line of best fit. By the way, this should be lines of best fit and correlation. Actually, we could just leave it as correlation. That's fine. So lines of best fit is a line drawn to show the trend in points. It's also known as the trend line. We usually call it line of best fit in 7th grade or Math 8. Just like FYI, it does not have to go through any points. It doesn't have to go through any points. And what you really want to do is try to get equal points above and below your line. Alright, so I'm with my ruler. As you guys can see, it's going in like this negative direction. So with my ruler, I'm going to kind of draw my line to follow this trend. So again, it doesn't have to go through any of the points. It can, doesn't have to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's kind of like that. It's not even that great. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's not the best line. So this one, I did this earlier. It's actually a little better. I had equal the number of points on the above and below. So this one's actually a little bad. And be careful, delta could mark you wrong. So I probably would have marked myself wrong here. So I'm going to ignore that line. I'm going to draw another one. That's a little better. Okay. So on your calculator, we are going to call this the linear regression line. And what I'm going to show you is your calculator will actually give you the equation of the line of best fit. So that's what linear regression means. But before we do that, let's talk about what a correlation coefficient is. It's called R, and I'm also going to show you how to calculate that on the calculator. So this value tells whether the correlation is positive or negative, and how closely the equation models the data. Okay, so up here, if you want to review, I wouldn't say the points are like really strong as a line. They're kind of scattered. So I'm curious to see what our number gives us on the calculator. I'm thinking it's going to be around like negative 0.8, so it's negative. If it looks really, really skinny like a line, like the points are technically not linear, but closer to a line, that's going to be closer to -1 if it's negative. So let's see how we can do this on the calculator. So I gave you this table. So the correlation coefficient, R, ranges from -1 to +1. So if R equals 1, it's almost a perfect line. So the closer it is to 1, the stronger it has a positive correlation. If it's -1, closer to -1, it has a strong negative correlation. And according to this table, if it's exactly -1, it's going to be almost like a perfect negative slope line. And if it's a +1, it's going to be almost a perfect positive slope line. So this table should help you identify what type of correlation we have. And if R is close to 0, there's going to be no correlation or no association, which means it's just going to be a bunch of scattered points if you plot the data. Okay, so let's try this on the calculator. I'm going to actually show you how to calculate both things, and on the back of your foldable should be the steps that I'm about to show you. Okay, and what I am going to do is I'm actually going to approximate these points. Like, for example, I don't know, 362, 558, 768, sorry. What is that? 10. I'm just picking the points on the graph. 1269, 1351, 1560. This point is about 1842. 2050, 2447, 2750, 2842, 30,48. Okay, so what you guys are going to do is go to Stat and Edit. So I actually put in a bunch of points earlier, so I'm just going to pretend I put these points into my table. So like my first point is 5,55, 7,69, 10,57. Now if you want to clear your table, you can literally hit clear. An easier way is second mem See where it says clear all lists? If you do that and you go back to stat, look, they just cleared my table. So again, second mem, and then you can go down and clear lists. Just make sure it's list 1 and list 2. If you don't see list 1 and list 2, I recommend going to second mem and then reset your calculator. And you can do the same thing on your graphing calculator. So I'm now going to type in the ordered pairs that I just listed. 5, 58, 7, 68, 10, 58, 12, 69, 13, 51, 15, 60, 18, 42, 20, 50, 24, 47, 27, 50, 28, 42, and then 30, 48. Okay. By the way, I know this seems like a lot of work, but honestly, if you had to find the line of best fit, right, the equation, you would have to pick 2 perfect points on your line. Sometimes you may not have a perfect point. Then you got to find the slope, right? Then you got to find the B. Okay, so once we have that settled, let's hit mode. And you have to go down to stat diagnostic. See, mine's on. Make sure yours is on. Yours may be off. Go back to stat. And then see, go to calc. And by the way, these directions are on the back of the foldable. So when you fold your foldable today and glue it in or staple it in, make sure you can see the directions. Sorry, let me explain what I just did. So go to calc, and then what you're going to see is linear regression. That means line of best fit. They use AX plus B instead of MX plus B, so M is going to be your slope. So if you go down to 4 and just hit enter, 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 shoot. Did I just accidentally, I think I deleted that. Go back to stat, calc, 4, okay, enter, 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 enter. And what it just did was it calculated my B, my slope, and my R. So if I asked you for the equation of this line, it would have been y equals, so it's AX, so negative 0.74x plus B, so my B is 66.3. And if you look at my graph, kind of makes sense, right? My slope is negative, but more importantly, what's the R? My R is negative 0.75. So I don't know about you, but like I said, right? I mean, it's negative. It's sort of on the strong side, but I wouldn't say it's very strong, right? It's not close to -1 or -0.9, and that's why the points are kind of scattered around. Okay, so we would say moderately negative correlation. And what does this really mean? As high temperatures increase, as temps increase, the number of hot cocos sold decreases. Okay, so that's really what that number is telling us. Okay, I think that's it. So if you guys missed those steps on the calculator, you can hang here. So go to stat, 1, edit, add your points, make sure your mode, stat diagnostic is on, go back to stat, go back to calc. Number 4, linear regression. It's the AX plus B instead of MX plus B. And then once you get there, you just hit enter. I think it's like 5 times until it calculates everything for you. So it should give you the line of best fit and the R. So just make sure you write down the R, explain what that means, okay? And then go back to Canvas and work on today's agenda, which I believe is Delta Math. It's only classwork, not homework. So you will get a grade on what you get done from now until the end of the period. And feel free to watch this video again. All right, bye guys.